Today our chapter's name is A Horse and Two Goats by R.K. Narayan. This is the second video in this story. So today the scene will start with the encounter of Mani with the foreigner, red-faced foreigner. So I'll focus on the extract and then it will be explained. So starting with the extract, he saw a new sort of vehicle coming down with full speed. It looked like both a motor car and a bus. He used to be intrigued by the novelty of such spectacles, but of late work was going at the source of river, on the mountain, and an assortment of people and traffic went past by him, and he took it casually and described to his wife later in the day. Today, while he observed the yellow vehicle coming down, he was wondering how to describe it later to his wife. When it sputtered and stopped in front of him, a red-faced foreigner who was driving it got down and went round it, stooping, looking and poking it under the vehicle, and then he straightened himself up, looked at the dashboard, stared in the Mani's direction and approached him. "Excuse me, is there a gas station nearby, or I have to wait for a next car to come by?" Suddenly he looked at the clay horse and he cried, "Marvelous," without completing his sentence. Mani felt he should get up and run away, and he cursed his age. He could not readily put his limbs into action. The red-faced man was wearing the khaki clothes, evidently a policeman or a soldier. Mani said to himself, "He will chase me if I start running. Some dogs chase only those who run. Oh Shiva, protect me. I don't know why this man should be after me." Meanwhile, the foreigner cried, "Marvelous," and again nodding his head. He paced round the statue with his eyes tied on it. Mani sat frozen for a while and fidgeted away and tried to edge away. Now the other man suddenly pressed his palms and said, "Namaste, how do you do?" At which Mani spoke the only English expressions he had learned, yes, no. Having exhausted his English vocabulary, he started speaking in Tamil. "My name is Mani. These two goats are mine, and no one can gainsay it. But nowadays our village is full of slanderers, those who will not hesitate to say that what belongs to a man doesn't belong to him." So this was the original extract of the story of R.K. Narayan. Mani was sitting on the pedestal of the horse statue. Suddenly he saw a vehicle coming down with a very high speed. Usually he was intrigued by the novelty of such spectacles. He didn't like such spectacles, such events he didn't like. But he took it casually because the work was going on the source of the river, at the mountain, and a crowd of people, group of people, assortment of people used to pass by there, and he used to tell his wife daily at the end of the day. So he took it casually. But as the yellow vehicle came, he was amazed how he would tell his wife about this, because it looked like a motor car and a bus both. and that was driven by a red-faced foreigner. It stopped sputtering, and the driver, the foreigner, came out of the car and he paused, stooping and looking around the vehicle, and then he saw in the direction of the money and asked that, is there any gas station nearby? He started his communication with money. Is there any gas station nearby? The problem is that the foreigner knows English and the money knows only two words in English, yes, no. So the foreigner said, the red-faced foreigner said, is there a gas station nearby, or I have to wait for the next car? Money was frightened. He tried to run away from there. He thought, why should this man be after me? Because he was wearing a khaki cloth. Money thought he should be either be a policeman or he be a soldier. But he cursed his age that he could not run. And he also remembered that some dogs chase only those people who run. So that man, that red-faced foreigner, saw the statue, saw the clay statue and said, marvelous, without completing his sentence. And then he greeted money. He joined his palm and said, Namaste, how do you do? Now money was caught. Money had only two words, yes, no. He said, yes, no. And then he started speaking Tamil. My name is Money. I have two goats. And no one can deny it, no one can gainsay it. But there are few people in the village nowadays who will say that these are not mine. He was very frightened that either he will shoot me or he will catch me. He was saying that why this man should be after me, and that man has eye on the statue of the horse on which on the pedestal of which the money was sitting. And money was unaware of this fact that he is chasing the horse, but money was frightened with his gestures. So that was the explanation of the extract I read. Now again we focus on the extract. The foreigner faithfully looked in the direction indicated by Money's finger, gazed with surprise for a while two goats and a rock with a puzzled expression. He took out his silver cigarette case and lit a cigarette. Suddenly remembering the courtesies of the season, he asked, do you smoke? Money said yes, no. Whereupon the red-faced man took a cigarette and gave it to Money, who received it with surprise, having had no offer of a smoke for years. Now, he always wanted to smoke a cigarette, but only once did the shopman gave him on the credit, and he remembered how good it tasted. The other man flicked the lighter and offered a light to Money. Money was so confused with how to act. He blew on it and put the lighter off. The other man, puzzled but undaunted, flourished his lighter, presented it again to Money's cigarette. He lit the Money's cigarette. Money drew a deep puff and started coughing. It was racking, no doubt, but extremely pleasant. When his cough subsided, he wiped out his eyes and took stock of the situation. Understanding that the other man was not an inquisitor of any kind, yet in order to make sure, he remained wary. No need to run away from a person who gave such a potent smoke. His head was reeling with the effect of one of the strong American cigarettes made with roasted tobacco. The man said, I came from New York, took out a wallet from his pocket and presented his card. So in this paragraph, It has been explained that cigarette was being offered by the red-faced man to Mani, and Mani was so much confused. So let's start with starting. Mani indicated in the direction in which the goat were grazing. So the foreigner was a bit confused what he is indicating, because his eyes was on the clay horse, but Mani was saying, these are my two goats. So the foreigner gazed at the goats and the rocks, and then after that he took from his pocket the silver cased cigarette box, and remembering the courtesies of season, he offered a cigarette to Mani. Do you smoke? But Mani know only two words in English, yes, no. He said yes, no. But that American offered the cigarette to him. Mani was surprised, because he was not offered cigarette by anyone from years. Once he did have a cigarette when the shopman gave him on credit, and he know how good it was. So the foreigner gave him light from the lighter, but Mani was very confused. In confusion, he blew out the light of the lighter. But the foreigner was undaunted, means he was still enthusiastic. He again lit the lighter and lit the Mani's cigarette. Now Mani took a potent smoke. Its effect was reeling, because it was made up of roasted tobacco, and it was one of the strongest American cigarettes. So as Mani took a puff of that, he started coughing and his tears came out. So that was painful, but still Mani was very much pleased with that. So he started thinking that he must not be afraid from such a person who gave him such a potent smoke. But he was thinking that I should remain wary, I should be alert, anything can happen. So when he took the smoke, the other man said that I am from New York, and he took out his wallet and presented a card to Mani. So that was the situation that has been explained, in which the cigarette was being offered to the Mani, and he knew just two words, yes, no, but the foreigner offered him a cigarette and he took that smoke. Now again we are focusing on the text, original text. Mani shrank away from the card. Perhaps he was trying to present a warrant against him. Beware of khaki, one part of his mind warned. Take all the cigarettes or whatsoever being offered, but beware of khaki. Don't get caught of khaki. He wished he were in 70, as the shopman has told that he was 70. At 70 one could not run, but only surrender to whatsoever come. He could only ward off the trouble by talking. So he went on, all in a chaste Tamil, for which the Kratam was famous. He said, before God, sir, Bhagwan, who sees everything, I tell you, sir, that we know nothing of the case. If the murder was committed, whosoever will not escape. Bhagwan is all-seeing. Don't ask me about it. I know nothing. A body has been found mutilated and thrown under a tamarind tree at the border between Kruttam and Kappam a few weeks before, giving rise to much speculation. Mani added an explanation, anything is possible there. Perhaps they will stop at nothing. The foreigner nodded his head, listened courteously, though he understood nothing. I know you must be knowing that when this horse was made, the red man said and smiled ingratiatingly. Mani reacted to the relaxed atmosphere by smiling himself and pleaded, "Please go away, sir. I know nothing. I promise we'll hold him if we find any bad character around us, and we'll bury him up to the neck in a coconut pit if he tries to escape. Our village has a clean record, must be other village." So, this situation is that the foreigner has presented his card that I am this and this. Mani thought he has been presented a warrant. So, Mani correlated the situation with the murder that has occurred in his village. So, Mani thought, beware of Khaki, and he cursed his age that at the age of 70 I could not run. I have only option that I could ward off situation by talking him. So, he start talking in Tamil and he told whole case that Bhagwan sees everything and the one who has murdered cannot escape. He will not escape. And then he elaborated, a body was found mutilated, rotten, and was thrown under a tamarind tree between the border between Krittam and Kappam. And there is much speculation. People are talking too much, they will stop at nothing. Foreigner nodded his head courteously. He thought Mani is talking to him, but he understood nothing. He smiled. With his smile, Mani understood that the situation is not tense. So, he gave a return smile and said, "Please go away, sir. If we find any bad creature in our village, we'll catch him and we'll bury up to his neck in a coconut pit if he tries to escape away. Our village has a clean record." In between, the foreigner asked, "So, do you know when this horse statue was made?" Foreigner is asking about the horse statue and Mani is telling about the murder case. So, there is a language communication gap because he knows only two words, yes, no. So, this was the situation. This was an instance in which Mani told all about the case history of murder that occurred, and foreigner never wanted to ask about the murder. He is just asking when this horse was made. So, this was the explanation. Now, we again focus on the text. Now, the red man implored, please, I'll speak slowly. Please try to understand me. Don't you understand a single word of English? Everyone in this country seems to know English, and I have been gotten along with English everywhere in this country. But you don't speak it. Have you any religious scruple against English speech? Mani made some indistinct sound in his throat and shook his head. Encouraged, the other went on to explain at length, uttering each syllable with deliberation. Presently, he silted over and took over a seat beside the old man, explaining, "You see, last August, we had the hottest summer, and I was working in a shirt sleeves in my office in the 40th floor of the Empire State Building. We had a power failure one day, and I was stuck for 4 hours. No elevator, no air conditioning. All the way in the train I was thinking. And a minute I reached the home to Connecticut. I told my wife Ruth, we'll visit India this winters. It's time to look at the other civilizations. My wife Ruth called in travel agent next day and told him to fix it. And so here I am. Ruth came with me, but she is staying back at Srinagar. And I'm doing the rounds and joining him later. Mani looked reflective at the end at this long oration and rather feebly said, "Yes, no." And then he went on the Tamil. "When I was this high," he indicated a foot high, "when I was this high, I heard my uncle say." No one can tell what he was planning to say, The other man interrupted and said, "Boy, what is the secret of your teeth? How old are you?" So, in this instance, the foreigner gave his introduction, who he is. But Mani could not understand anything because he knew only two words, yes, no. And the foreigner could not understand the Tamil. So, when Mani was unable to understand anything, the foreigner said, please, I'll speak slowly. Don't you speak a single word of English? I have went in this country and everyone knows English. I have been in this country with English. Do you have any religious hindrance in speaking English? He raised a question. But Mani couldn't understand anything, so he has no answer. But he made some indistinct sound in his throat. When he made some indistinct sound in his throat, the foreigner was encouraged by it. He silted. In a nervousness, he moved towards the old man and sat beside him. And then, with deliberation and the separation of each syllable in a slow manner, he started describing everything about him. That last summer, I was working in my office on the 40th floor of the Empire State Building, and I had a power cut and I was trapped in a power cut. No elevator, no air condition. And when I was coming back in train, I was thinking, and in a minute I reached the home. I told my wife Ruth, he had a communication with his wife Ruth, that it's time to look at the other civilization. Why? He wanted to see in which condition people live. He realized that living without air condition, living without power, what it makes life. So he decided to look over other civilizations. So he told his wife Ruth, and his wife called on a travel agent and they fixed it. And he told that my wife is in Kashmir and I am on the round and I'll visit her. I'll catch her. Mani could not understand anything after this long oration. He said yes, no. And Mani started his own communication. When I was this much high, my uncle told, in Tamil obviously. Foreigner interrupted him because he was not aware of what he is going to tell. So foreigner joked at him, boy, what's the secret of your teeth? How old are you? So he has given his introduction, but it was of no good because he couldn't understand. Again focusing on the text, Mani forget what he started to say and remembered. He remarked rather, sometimes we lose our cattles. Jackals or cheetah may sometimes carry them off, but sometimes that they are theft from or in the next village, and then we will know who has done the theft. Our priest in the temple sees the face of the thief in the camphor fire, and when he is caught, he gestures with his hand a perfect mincing of meat. The American watched his hand intently and said, I know what you mean. Chop something. Maybe I am holding you and you want to chop wood. Where is your axe? Hand it to me and show me what to chop. I do enjoy it. You know, just a hobby. We get a lot of driftwood along the backwater near my house, and on Sundays I do nothing but chop the wood for the fireplace. I really feel different when I watch the fire in the fireplace, although it may take all the sections of the Sunday New York Times. And he smiled at the reference. Mani felt confused and he decided that the best thing would be to make an attempt to go away from here. He tried to edge out, saying, "Must go home," in Tamil, and turned to go. The other seized his shoulder and said desperately, "Is there no one, absolutely no one to translate for me?" He looked up down the road, which was deserted in this hot afternoon. The stranger almost peasant. Mani's back to the statue and asked, "Isn't it this statue yours? Why don't you sell it to me?" The old man now understand that the reference is of horse. He thought for a second and said, "I was an urchin this high when my grandfather told me about this statue and the warrior, and my grandfather was this high when his grandfather told him about the statue and the warrior." So in this paragraph, I took 2-3 paragraphs. In these paragraphs, there is a communication. Mani is saying something, the foreigner is saying something. Mani didn't know what to talk, so he started talking that sometimes we lose our cattle, sometimes the jackals take them, and sometimes they are stolen by the other villagers, by the people of the other villages. And when they are stolen, we catch them because our priests see their face in the camphor fire of the temple. And when they are caught, we used to mince them. And when he made this symbol, the foreigner thought that he is trying to chop something. So he thought he is saying that he wants to chop the wood or something like that. So he said, "Where is your axe to chop?" And he started saying that it is my hobby to chop, because in backwater in my home there is too much wood, and in Sundays I used to chop the wood, and when I see fire in the fireplace, it's really pleasing. But it takes too many pages of New York Times paper. Means to lit the fire, he has to use the paper. And with this reference, he was smiled. He was smiling. Now Mani was totally confused. He couldn't understand anything. So he thought he should skip from here. He should run away. So he tried to edge out, saying, "Must go home." But the foreigner seized his shoulder and said desperately, "Is there no one to translate for me?" And he looked at the road. The road was deserted. No one was there. It was a hot afternoon. Then a connection was made between them. The foreigner said, "Isn't it this statue yours? Why don't you sell it to me?" Then Mani understood that he is talking about the horse. So he started telling about the horse. "When I was a boy, this urchin high, my grandfather told me about this horse and this warrior. And when my grandfather was this much high, his grandfather told about this horse and the statue." So Mani started talking about the horse. So this was a reference up to which I have taken the context. So there was a misconnection. Neither Mani could understand anything, nor the foreigner could understand anything. He was talking about the horse, he was asking to sell it, and Mani was telling about the history of the horse. How did he knew about the horse? His grandfather told him. So the story is long enough. We will continue this story in the next video, rest part of the story. So thank you for watching.